Good morning, my revolutionary people. It is day 50. 50 days of being on the run from my family cult, the Kudearoffs, based in Springfield, Eugene, Oregon. Today I'm in Albuquerque still, and ooh-wee, I learned so much about people yesterday. I have never had people look at me with such hate, but it wasn't. They don't hate me. They hate themselves. They were projecting. It was the most interesting experience I've ever really had. Like, the way I perceive people changed a lot yesterday. So let's talk about it, because I haven't even finished processing it yet. Let's have some coffee. Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful day. Oh, they gassed me super hard last night, but we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about the people. Okay, so autistic people don't like to make, I don't know if this is for all autistic people, but one of the things is we don't like to make eye contact. And I don't like to make eye contact because when I look someone in the eyes, it's like getting a preview. I can feel their body. I can feel their soul and heart. Like, I could feel it, mind, body, and soul. Like, I could just feel it all. Like, I can feel if they have disease. I can feel what part of their body it's affecting, like all that stuff. And it's a lot, like, especially when it's someone that is toxic, for lack of a better word, or someone who is diseased. When they're not at ease, diseased, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, because more people are diseased than are like calm. I don't think I've ever really felt anyone who didn't have some kind of dis-ease. Everybody has some. Like, it's just, we're human. It is what it is, right? But you can feel it. And the people who looked at me with hate yesterday, I've never really felt more disease. It was really crazy. So, and it was weird because some of them were even like physically somewhat healthy. Like, there was a lot of things that were brewing in their body as far as dysfunction goes and disease, but they were relatively like functional still. But their gene expression was extremely off. I was able to put together the pieces so much more because I saw it from so many people, the same feeling. It was intense. They have no clue who they are. They don't love themselves. They don't believe themselves to be a good person. They don't know they're a good person. Everyone is born a good person. People aren't born bad. It was shocking. Like, it's shocking. Like, I understand, like, no one really told me I was a good person. I just kind of figured it is what it is. Like, I don't know how I really understood. I think the fact that I had my grandma when I was little, I had her for the first like 7-8 years of my life. And that, I think, was just all I really needed, because she mirrored back an amazing person. Like, when I looked at her and she saw me, I saw how amazing I am. And just, she looked at me with wonder and like all the good things. Like, I was just a good person. And yeah, like, I lost that probably for a long time, especially right after like the 10 years after she died. That was hard. Well, pretty much my whole life. Until, well, honestly, until the adult industry, when people looked at me with awe and wonder again. But it wasn't because of what I looked like naked. It was more because of who I am. Because I was born into evil, and I'm not an evil person. And they looked at me just with awe and wonder. Now, I didn't realize that at the time, but now I do, and that probably saved my life. That probably saved my life. I always say the adult industry saved my life, but it's just crazy. The way my family programmed the world to view me. It's just unfair. That's because my mom, once she could not control me, she lost all of her power. And her power and who she was the only reason people were interested in her. She lost everything. She lost my dad afterwards. She lost my grandma. She didn't even value my grandma, and then she got upset that she died. And it's like, you killed her. Like, there's no logic there. Like, she lost everything. Like, when she was overt, she was so full of herself. And then she realized nobody wanted anything to do with her except for her power. And so she programmed the world to look at me the same way because she knew how awful it felt. And she still does. Now, I hope you all are being mean to her. I would really enjoy if you could just put in a little extra rudeness for me a little bit every day. I'd really appreciate that because that's what she made you all do to me. So if you could do that for me, I'd super appreciate it. Because I like the shoe on the other foot thing. That really makes me happy. Okay, so let's go back to the people. They have no clue how amazing they are. No one's ever told them. So here's the deal. Let me tell you. You are amazing. You just have to put time into cultivating your heart and soul. Everybody is born good. Everybody deserves greatness because it's inside you. That's like your birthright. And people don't know. A guy was looking at me and staring. So these people don't know. And they do believe their dysfunction to be superior. I saw that yesterday and it was so shocking. And it's like, I saw so much hate and just, I can't even put it all into words. But this one guy at the grocery store at Smith's, working at the self-checkout stand. Oh, those people, the guys at the self-checkout at Smith's, the one in Edgewood, gave away a lot too when he thought I was special. Well, this guy thought I was special too, just because I have no desire to physically harm people. That has been what a lot of people have really tried to do. They try and like intimidate me with physical harm. Hello, how old are you? Like, we're not toddlers. You don't hurt people. Like, grow up. Literally, grow up. Oh my gosh. Shocking. Like, really? You're that reptilian? Like, that's what it shows. These people are so stuck in like the small part of their brain. And I know I'm saying, like, obviously I'm saying truths here, and I don't really take people's feelings into consideration because Asperger's, I just don't. And you people have never really taken my feelings into consideration. So grow up, right? Shoe on the other foot. You sure can't handle it well. Anyways, so reptilian. They're so reptilian and they don't even know it. Like, they have so many parts of their brain available to them if they just access them. Like, they're only operating at a very small percentage and they don't even know. And they do, like, it is like they don't realize they're broken. It was just like that thought I had, I forget what day it was, but they don't realize they're broken. And so when they see someone who's not broken and it makes them feel less than, they try to destroy that person because it threatens their way of life, their quality of life. That's how I could relate to it. He feels like his quality of life is being threatened because healing is something that he views as so painful, and meeting himself and looking at himself would be so painful. I think a lot of people would rather die than actually heal. I never in my life did I imagine that. But that is also a realization that I came to yesterday, which is fine because we have an overpopulation problem anyway. And so Darwinism, I'm a big fan. I don't mean that cruelly. It's just, it's funny. It's true. So if you don't want to do the work, okay, opt out. So yeah, these people are so angry and scared and fearful. They're channeling their fear and anger into hate rather than like using it to move themselves forward. They're just doing so many things wrong and they don't see it. And they're so threatened by other people who have found what works. I'm not saying I've figured life out all the way or anything like that. I do not believe myself to be better than. I just want the freedom to be me. I do not want to live like those people do. That way does not work for me. I enjoy using all my brain. And yeah, my brain is still just dysfunctional in the sense that it doesn't light up for everything that it should. But that's okay, because I'm willing to work with what does light it up. And that's what we all need to do. We just need to find the things that light up our brain and our heart and go from there and expand on those things. How can people not see that? Okay, so here's the deal. I did work on reprogramming my brain, and I have desired to destroy people before, and it's all about cleaning up your body and your mind. Like A1, when we first broke up, of course I wanted to destroy him. He'd spent years destroying me and taking away my quality of life while replacing it with like superficial things that were comfortable, but that left me feeling so empty. It was so frustrating. Like, I have never felt so empty before because he used money and things to like allow me to like fill myself back up and feel good. And so when he took away my quality of life and money and things, like everything went away because he took away all the good feelings in my brain too. Like everything that made me feel secure in being an individual. And I think some people have just never had those things. You can have those things and they're not easy, but they're simple. And it's nice. You need to have those things. And so they just need to retrain their brain. I've learned that, I don't know if everybody's like this, but neuro-linguistic programming is a really powerful thing. And you really need to watch out for what you say and the way in which you say it. And I spent a year or two doing the I statements and such, and just affirmations. Those really don't work for me. The I statements, that I am great, I'm a good person, da-da-da. No, that doesn't work for me because I was brainwashed as a kid. So I have to do the you statements. So what I started doing is I tell my dogs, you are good. You are good. I think some people they were never told they're good. And I think that's all they really need. So if you are struggling with feeling like you're a good person, just start telling everybody that they're a good person. And talk to your dogs, talk to your children, just every day. Like if you have children and you're not telling them they're good, like I think you should tell them they're good every day. Or at least like minimum like 5 times a week. Like you need to tell your children they're good, because then it'll sink in and they'll be good. Like it's that easy. Like they need to know that they're good. They need to know that they're amazing. They need to know that they get better and better every day. People need to know. I tell my dogs that every day. And while telling my dogs that, I'm also programming myself. So it is a little selfish, but it's amazing to watch them glow and grow and just be happy. Like, my dogs are a lot like me. I love rescue dogs because everybody has cast me aside and like abused me and used me and gotten rid of me. And so, oh, my nose, sorry. Channeling. It's amazing to watch the transformation. It does not take long to transform someone's like inner world. You can probably see the difference in like a month or 2. I mean, you have to keep doing it and you have to be consistent, but you can make mistakes, have like something in your life happen where you just can't, for a while, or you just like my dogs, when I got sick, I was not the best dog mom ever. Like when I got cancer, not good at all. There were times in Arizona where I couldn't really walk to like take them outside. And they were forgiving. They understood. And I wasn't the nicest. Like I wasn't doing the you statements every day. But when I got better, I started doing it more again. Like life is all about just like doing the best you can. And that's okay. That's good enough. The best you can is good. As long as you try. Life is all about trying. And I think people just need to be reminded that they're good and trying and doing. Like efforts. As long as you are trying and doing, you're not always going to get the same results, but the efforts are important. And so I just learned so much about people and disease yesterday. People are so diseased, and rather than face themselves, they'd rather project that disease onto me, and that hate and that anger and that fear. There is no reason to do that. Like, I understand, like, it's like the Buddha quote, holding on to hate is only going to hurt yourself. What is it, like drinking the poison and expecting it to kill someone else? I think that's a Buddha one. But I try not to hate. It's really hard. Believe me, I've been through some situations that make me want to hate. But hate is not the answer. Love is the answer. I'm not trying to say I have it all figured out, but I definitely believe 1000% in that. Love is the answer. Being good and exploring your potential feels way better than hating. And everybody's birthright is to be amazing. And I think a lot of people just need to hear that more. So, yep, they're gassing me still here, and they're just being annoying opportunists because they don't believe that they deserve better, and they would rather project their hate onto me. It's really interesting. But I also experienced a nice person again yesterday, and that was really refreshing. I'm not going to say too much about it, though, because, but it made me feel good. I was like, oh, good people exist. It was so nice. She reminded me of my grandma. It was nice. It was really, really nice. So, yeah. Good thought of the day. Love outweighs hate. Any day. Anytime you can focus on something good, do that. Because it's better for your heart and your soul and your body. And gene expression is a real thing. So I think if you focus on love more, it'll get your body into a better state. I've been I've been exploring epigenetics a little bit because I do believe in gene expression, because I know when I just can tell when things are working better in my body because I have less autoimmune reactions and everything like that. I don't want to go into it too much, but just focus on love. Love is the answer. I think the Beatles said that, right? They're pretty smart guys. Took a lot of acid. I like people who fry. I can relate to them. People of the 60s. I can relate to the people of the 60s a lot more. Maybe it's because of all the ecstasy I've taken and all the hallucinating I've done and all the talking to God and being alone as a child, because God was my only friend, as my mom would tell me. Okay, people, I really talked a lot here. So, day 50, Albuquerque. Day 50 of running for my family cult. Focus on love. Love is the answer. I love you all.